Apologies now, guys. Let's start there. Hi Karen, how are you, my love? Oh yeah, sorry, I thought I forgot the glasses there. So welcome on, Karen, and I'll just give people a few minutes there to pop on, and I just want to say thanks everybody for being here, and I'm actually coming on at this time now just to talk to you about the benefits of hypnotherapy, because for many years now I've been using hypnotherapy. Hi Anne, it's great, you're it's like page tag all day, you're all coming over, which is wonderful. You're all very welcome and thanks for coming. Sorry now guys, I just have to figure out, I turn on the laptop, which I don't usually do, so I have to figure out now how to turn down the sound. The joys of technology. But look, I'll never again complain about technology, because it was fantastic today that we could all that we wouldn't have been able to do this only for technology. Hi Catherine. So today I want to talk to you about the benefits of hypnotherapy, because you know the reason I studied hypnotherapy was that, hi Timmers, hi Suzanne, hi Sharon, that there was many people you know throughout the years. Oh, sorry now guys, here's me again dropping things as usual. It wouldn't be me if I didn't drop something, but I'm back. But you know, throughout the years, there's been many people, as you can imagine, I suppose thousands of people really have passed through this room for healing, you know, and sometimes you notice that no matter how much healing you do energetically, that they go back into the same pattern, whatever that is, you know. And that's really what intrigued me to go and study the mind. And you know, my mother, who's now passed to the spirit world, and you know, she used to really annoy me, but as we get older, we realise the wisdom of our mothers, I promise you. And you know, she used to always say, it's all in the mind with some people, you know, and like really I never got what she was talking about. But now that I'm older, I totally appreciate everything that she taught me. And she was an extremely wise woman. That's what I want to say now about her. And I know she's listening up there because she talks to me regularly, you know, being a medium, that's one of the advantages. Sometimes she'll talk to me, give it out to me, you know, so it's not always nice. But look, that's mothers for you. So, as I say, I went off and I studied hypnotherapy because I was fascinated by it, you know, and the benefits of hypnotherapy. And that most people only look at hypnotherapy when they've tried everything else and everything else has failed. And if you can think about like your subconscious mind, that it's like a vast library of everything that ever happened to us in our entire life. Every bit of trauma, every fear, every feeling of anxiety, everything. And sometimes, just take for instance, when you're younger, you might get a shock, and your subconscious mind, which is really your best friend, you know, and your best defense mechanism, might lock that shock away, and you might never remember anything about it. And then suddenly you might get to 13 and something triggers that again, you might get another shock. And you know, that's what happens really with anxiety, that it's never just a once-off thing when people say, oh, I never had a panic attack before, but really it's a build-up of stuff, as you can imagine. If you were stuffing, think about it like this. If you had a plastic bag here and you were stuffing things continuously into that bag, the results are eventually that bag is going to burst, you know. And that's what happens when we get anxiety, that there's too much stuff stored up there, so it's triggering stuff. But really, there's a lot of myths and fallacies too about hypnosis, which is ridiculous because, you know, and I understand that from stage hypnotherapy, because they want to put on a show, so they'll pick the most suggestible people and they'll say to them, oh, look, we want everybody to have a good night here, so I want you like to make it a good night for everybody. But really, in honesty, I couldn't possibly suggest things to you that, you know, like give me your bank account number and clean out your bank account. And I always laugh when people think I have that power, because I don't, you know, because Really, the minute I'd suggest it, your mind would say like, why is she asking me for my bank account, you know? So like they're the kind of, and I'm just going to read for you some of the, and to be honest with you, I've had incredible results with hypnotherapy, you know. Hypnotherapy is one of the most fantastic treatments because sometimes we don't even realise how resistant we are and how stuck we are in patterns that don't serve us, you know. So, hi Evelyn Lucas, is it? Hi Evelyn. Evelyn, I was well gone from the page a while ago when you asked for a card, sorry. But anyway, and that's why I put up now that I finished the live, you know, because I found even the next day sometimes people were saying, could you give me a card, you know. But anyway, getting back to the hypnosis, it really is, it's a scientifically proven method of treating a variety of conditions. And really, I just think to debunk the 10 most common myths about hypnosis. So the first one is, when in hypnosis, you can be made to say or do something against your will. That is absolute garbage. I'd love to tell you it's true, but it's not. It's absolute rubbish. The fact of the truth is that hypnosis cannot make you do anything that you don't want to do. It can help you achieve something that you do want to do, and it can help you stop doing something. It's fantastic for addictions, for anxiety, for depression, for low self-esteem, all of those things. It's a brilliant, really brilliant therapy, you know. But it really can't make you do anything against your will, you know. When you think about like when you were a child, or even still, if a good movie came on the television, there could be loads of other things happening in the room. Like we're constantly in hypnosis daily, but you're so intrigued by that film, or you're so absorbed in a good book, you're not listening to anything that's going on in the room. You're just totally in a trance watching what's there, you know. So if a suggestion was made to you during a hypnosis session which offended your ideals or sensibilities, then you'd simply open your eyes and go, no, I'm not doing that, you know what I mean? So there are all the silly things, you know, that people think about hypnosis, that I have power over their mind and all of that. I'd love to tell you that's all true, but I'd be telling lies. So the second one is like you can get stuck in hypnosis and be able to wake up. That is absolute rubbish, because as I say, we're in hypnosis a lot during the day when we're reading a good book, absorbed in a good movie, when we do a bit of meditation. All of that is really a deep state of relaxation. So you can't get stuck in that, because it's a very natural and normal state that we all enter into on a daily basis. So it's nothing really that you haven't experienced before. But obviously if you have somebody coming to you with anxiety, now I will say that when people suffer from anxiety, of course I do, like, and I still do that, I do it now online, that I do a 40-minute free consultation, because I want that person to know that they're comfortable with me, because no good work will happen unless I build a rapport with them and that they like me, you know. So like that's really very important, you know. So really it's nothing you haven't experienced before. Hypnosis is a subject experience and everyone will experience it differently. But the worst that could happen is you could fall asleep. So that's the very worst that could happen, you know. And now the third myth about it is like, I've never been hypnotized before. And of course you have. Like, as I say, when you've been entranced in a book or a film, that you don't hear someone call your name, or that, I'm sure we've all understood that you've driven somewhere and you can't remember driving there, you can't remember the way there, you know. So they're all kind of hypnotic states to some extent. Then like hypnosis, contrary to what you may have seen on television or in the movies, hypnosis is a scientifically proven method for treating a variety of conditions, from chronic pain and insomnia, and the world-renowned Stanford University School of Medicine Center like swears for stress and health, and teaches hypnotic techniques as a treatment in clinical sessions as part of an integrative medicine approach. And you know, I used to work in a cancer care centre, and I used to do a lot of hypnotic pain healing with those women and mind-body healing. So, and they found it wonderful, you know. So it really is a fantastic therapy. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So the fifth one is that it works instantly. While some people can experience changes very quickly, hypnosis is generally not an instant miracle cure. And that's true for all therapies, you know. It'd be silly to think, like if you spend 40 years thinking one way, and I'm trying to scramble your subconscious. Well, first, like, I would do a lot of clearing and you know, then open up whatever needs to be released. And I have no idea that, and neither have you until we go in there. So it's about cause and effect, but it's really brilliant. But it'd be stupid for me to say to you, if you've been anxious for 40 years, after one session of this now you'll be fantastic, you'll never feel anxious again. That would be absolute rubbish, you know. So while it is a very quick therapy, I will say that, much faster than counselling, I have to say that, you know, and I'm trained in both of them, but I do I'm sure I've gained lots of skills too from counselling. So like everything you study, you'll gain something from. So it's like, you know, really, if you think about it, you're not asleep or unconscious when you're in hypnosis. It's just your breathing slows down, your muscles are relaxed, but you're never actually asleep. You may be relaxed and comfortable, but you're alert and aware. So your mind could be hyper alert, but you could be in a deeply relaxed state in your body. And it is possible to drift into a state of sleep during hypnosis, but I usually make suggestions when they're in there that doesn't happen. Obviously, if I'm doing regression work with them, I want them to find, we're going in looking for stuff to move out of the way, you know. And the other myth is like hypnosis will only work on certain people. Now, it is true that some people are more susceptible to hypnosis. And I always say you'll know the hypnotherapist in any room, because the minute somebody says close your eyes, they're gone and they're drooling at the mouth. And that is true. And that is true, you know, because they do surrender to it. But the effectiveness of it comes down to the person's motivation, willingness and ability to concentrate. Think of it this way. If you're interested in something and it's something that you want, then you'll be very open to its effects. And that's true of everything, you know. If you're not, you'll be totally resistant and you won't allow it to happen. It's the same with hypnosis. If you want it to work, you'll have a much higher chance of success than if you're uninterested or fighting it, you know. And now, thankfully, I have to say, I've never had a client that didn't benefit from hypnosis, you know. I have to honestly say that. And, you know, I'm not saying how wonderful I am, even though I am good at my work, you know, but really anybody that's open to it will really allow whatever obstacles are in there or whatever is causing them to feel that anxiety or depression or OCD or whatever is going on for them, will allow them to kind of move it out. So in a way, it's a bit like, hi Esther, it's a bit like, hi Marie, it's a bit like, and I don't know why I'm using computers now because I'm laughing. For me to use an analogy with computers is hilarious. But it's a bit like if you had a program on your computer that wasn't working and you tried to install a new program over that. It really wouldn't be very effective, you know. So what you have to do is you have to go in first, you have to delete the old program, and then the new program will work perfectly. So that's kind of what you do with hypnosis. You go in and you move out whatever obstacles are in the way, whatever resistance they have, and then you work with imprinting whatever it is they want to create, like confidence, calmness, peace, whatever it is, you know. So like when people say that people who get hypnotized are weak-minded, it actually is quite the opposite. It's people that are quite intelligent and can concentrate well and have a creative imagination. They make the best hypnotic patients. So that's not true. You know, that is not true at all. There's nothing weak-minded about that. Then the other one is hypnosis can be dangerous. Hypnosis is simply a state of focused hyper-awareness. It's completely safe and natural. And if for whatever reason you wanted to leave a hypnotic state, you can naturally do so by opening your eyes, take a stretch or speaking. So there's absolutely no danger whatsoever of ever getting stuck in hypnosis. It's a total fallacy, you know. Hi Monica, thank you my love. It is wonderful therapy. I totally agree with you. Hi Connie. So hypnosis is a miracle cure. No. While hypnosis is a relatively quick method of making permanent changes or improvements, I totally and completely, that was my own experience, I have to say, for me. Hi Maria, that was totally my experience, that it very quickly moved out obstacles out of my way that were impinging on my life in a negative term and changed them for me. But as I say, there's no such thing as a one-time hypnotic miracle. Every individual makes progress at his or her own rate. And stories of overnight success should be heeded with caution. And I believe that for every therapy, to be honest with you. I honestly do, because I don't think it's fair to sell people that idea that, you know, after one session you'll be amazing. And you know, when people say to me, how many sessions do you think I need? I always say, because I'm very honest about my work, I just say I have no idea. But you know, we'll do the first one and we'll see where that takes you. And if you think about it, it's like layers and layers that you're peeling off. That's really what you're doing. And it's essentially about cause and effect. And once you get into the root cause of what's creating the problem for the person, then that's where the brilliant work begins, you know. Hi Gillian, how are you? So I absolutely love hypnosis. I studied it many years ago and I've been using it ever since. And I think it's absolutely wonderful because you can use it with anything. You can use it with absolutely anything. So the benefits of going to a hypnotherapist. Some of the benefits are, and you know, they're the most common questions asked by somebody going to see a hypnotherapist. And as I say, I do a free consultation online if anybody's interested in talking about it. And of course, always I do a consultation anyway before I do any hypnotherapy with anybody. And I understand that people are a bit apprehensive about considering hypnotherapy. And I totally understand that. But that's really because of all the misconceptions that they've seen on the television or in films, you know. But when you think about the benefits that can come from it, you'll really understand how worthwhile it is. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Hypnosis is fantastic for addiction, whether it's a substance or behaviour. I have to say it's absolutely brilliant. And you know, as addiction builds up over time, like people are born, that's true, with certain temperaments, certain predispositions and certain behaviours, like genetic, genes, environment, upbringing, childhood experiences, and all of that can combine to make people more prone to addiction than others. And you know, we all know that behind all addiction there's pain and there's trauma, and that is a fact, you know, and that is a fact. So like, there's many different styles of, you know, you could be addicted to food, you could be addicted to alcohol, drugs, smoking, gambling, all kinds of things, you know, addictive behaviour, there's lots of different things. And we all have addictions. It'd be silly for us to think, I'd love to tell you I'm perfect and I don't, but that'd be lies, you know. So like there's many different ways that you can come at it. There's Jungian therapy, there's Ericksonian therapy, there's neuro-linguistic programs. So like it can help you regain control of your thoughts and actions, ensuring that you make the right choices. Because you know, your subconscious mind is really your best friend. When you think about it, when something really traumatic happens and you might go into shock and lock that memory away, that's really your subconscious mind protecting you and using that defense mechanism to help you to cope with what just happened, you know. So like, it does help alleviate the physical symptoms of addiction. And I definitely can swear by that, you know, being a non-smoker now. But when I did smoke, I have to say hypnosis was absolutely brilliant, fantastic, to help me to get rid of the addiction around smoking, you know. It can also help you with weight. You know, I trained, but again now look, it'd be silly to say. I'm a gastric band therapist, so I trained to insert the hypno band in somebody. But no, it'd be very silly for me to say to you, oh, come to me and you lose weight. If really you have no intentions of stopping overeating, you really don't want to, you just want the magic wand effect. That would never happen, you know. But I do think that if you think about weight, it's insulation, you know, it's another way of dealing with emotions. So, but hypnotherapy is proven to be 30% more effective than just dieting alone. I hate that word dieting, than healthy eating alone when it comes to weight loss. So for most people who need extra motivation to kickstart like the healthy eating, it's fantastic. I have to say that, you know. There's brilliant benefits to hypnotherapy. That's what I would say, you know. It's brilliant for chronic pain. It's because, you know, if you think about it, your mind controls your emotions govern your body. So it's all connected, you know. It is brilliant, Gillian. Thank you. Yes, it's absolutely fantastic. It's a wonderful therapy and I absolutely love it, And I use it nearly all the time, even if people come for healing, I just bring them in. Because sometimes when people come for healing, they're in a heightened state of anxiety. So I just take them on a journey, just a progressive relaxation and just allow them to enjoy the therapy, because that's what it's about, really. So it's brilliant for pain, and I know that from the women I worked with, like the ladies in the cancer care centre that benefited greatly and absolutely loved hypnosis, and absolutely totally said it helped them fantastic, It's brilliant for stress, because stress can cause incredible illness in our body that we never think about, like high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes, sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, all kinds of illnesses, So the benefits of hypnotherapy when you're working with stress is like kind of doing a stress management session where you teach the client kind of cues that they can, and you anchor them into their subconscious mind so that they can use them. You're giving them tools to equip them. Like it doesn't mean that when they're just in here, my therapy room, that they feel relaxed. You'll give them tools for ongoing support for themselves, And that's another brilliant thing about it, that you can use to use it for yourself, And it gives also, like if you're really stressed and you can bring yourself into that state of relaxation, it just gives your mind and body a chance to recuperate and repair and heal itself, by experiencing the relaxation that it desperately needs, Another thing is it can deal with childhood issues, regression therapy. And I've done that. I do inner child retreats. I haven't done any now, obviously, with COVID, but usually about 4 times a year I take maybe 12, sometimes 15 people away to a retreat, and I'd regress them back, and it's wonderful, because sometimes we've all had trauma. Like, I'm not blaming anybody, but it's life, sometimes we have trauma back there that's really affecting our lives today. So it's brilliant to bring people back and just rid themselves of the trauma in there, and because the trauma you experienced as a child could be still impacting your life today, Hi Colette, how are you, my love? And that's a fact, and that's a fact. So like really what you do, it's a great way to work through the childhood issues and replace the negative messages then about yourself with positive ones. And also to bring, to reparent the child for yourself and to build that child up with you and to merge the two of them, Helping you then to free yourself up to be a happy, confident and complete adult. It's very good for sleep disorders, for sleepwalking, all of those things. It's brilliant for that. That's another thing. And it can promote deep relaxation. It can also help you to change your behaviour, which is wonderful, It can help you to recover buried memories that you can then move out and clear, So it's an absolutely brilliant, beneficial therapy. Brilliant with anxiety and depression. Because, some people are reluctant to take medication. And I'm not dismissing medication, because sometimes it's needed, But some people are reluctant to take it because they don't want to become dependent on it, So other people mightn't be able to find a medication that works for them, so they can enjoy the benefits of hypnotherapy, because it's a drug-free and effective way to calm anxiety and to treat symptoms like depression, And by using hypnotic suggestions also for the client, to eliminate the triggers of anxiety and depression that people suffer from. Depression and anxiety can sometimes, and that is so true, find 100% relief from those conditions by using hypnosis, So it is a brilliant, absolutely brilliant, quick and effective therapy, And I've been using hypnosis for many years with people, and I just find it greatly beneficial, because it is true, like our mind is like a vast library of every memory, everything that ever happened to us since we were born is in there, So sometimes there may be something in there that you don't remember, and it could be impacting your life big time. And just to give you an example of how it works, when I was doing my first diploma on hypnosis, one night and believe you me now, when I went in to do hypnosis, and I always laugh about it, I was a bit cautious even about like surrendering, honestly. And I always tell people that because it's true. And one night he did a session on us to regress us back, you know, to see was there any abandonment issue, or any fear in there around abandonment, or to trigger anything from your childhood. Anyway, I went into a very deep state, and I came out afterwards like I usually did, and sure I didn't remember anything. So I was driving home, everything was grand, forgot all about it. And I couldn't believe the next day I was at the sink. Now this time I was probably in my 40s, you know. I was at the sink washing the ware, and I just couldn't believe it. When I was 2, my sister let me fall out of the bed and I broke my collarbone. And they took me to the hospital, and that time, you know, you couldn't stay with kids in a hospital. And I couldn't believe I was standing at the sink washing the ware, and I could see myself in the cot, and I could see my mother peeping in the door, and I started bawling and screaming, and I could see all the nurses around me. I could hear them even saying, every time they went to walk away, I cried again. So they were saying, oh sure, look, she's crying now, she won't let us go, you know. So that was my first instance of trauma in my life, you know. I actually couldn't believe it. I was literally blown away to find that, you know. So that's the brilliance of hypnosis, really, that it can free you up from things that are blocking you from having a happy life, you know. Because really, if you think about it, life can, and that's another thing. My mother, I've actually turned into my mother, you know, which is a good thing. And you know, the way when you're a teenager, you say to your mother, oh, what does she know? But actually, I hear myself. Thanks, Connie. I hear myself, I sound like her all the time now, and I just laugh because I think, you know, Mal, you're never gone while I'm here. But like, you know, the things she used to say like that, in this life, which is true, you either get better from things and recover, or you get bitter, you know. And for all of us, the best suggestion is that we get better, isn't it, you know? So I just wanted to come on today and talk about that, because, you know, I keep forgetting that this is for the mind-body experience, and it will be up on the page, you know, because that's what Freddie is kind of doing this at all the events. He's kind of posting what we're doing on the page and kind of promoting, because then he shares that like around the world with everybody. So, and it's lovely too for other people, because it gives you an idea of like, you know, you can see people chatting. Do I like them? Do I not like them? And that's kind of why I do a free consultation, really, with the hypnotherapy, because I think nobody's going to do good therapy with somebody that they don't feel relaxed with. And I always say that's my greatest gift that I have, that I help people to relax. And I've always had that, you know. So, and of course I want the person to talk to me and see, would I like her? Would I do good work with her? Do I feel comfortable with her? Because otherwise no good work would get done, you know. So like, I think the free consultation is great. And I remember when I decided to do that a friend of mine said to me, who's also a hypnotherapist, she said, oh, I wouldn't do that. People would be taking advantage of it. And I said to her, look, you know, this is how it works for me. She had her own way of doing it, and that's perfectly fine. Never ever once did anybody not come and do the therapy with me after doing the consultation with them, you know. So sometimes, you know, if people are anxious or depressed or just shy or have problems, it kind of opens the door for them to sit down, have a chat, talk to you about what's going on. And, you know, they may not otherwise do that. That's what I feel, you know. So it gives them, I suppose it gives them the opening to come in and have a chat. It's not going to cost them anything. They can decide, I don't like her, I think I won't bother. Or they can decide, yeah, I think it would be really beneficial, you know. And in all the years I've been offering that to people, nobody has ever once taken advantage of it, you know. And I remember saying that to her one day. I said, it's never happened, because I would never send out for it to happen, you know. So, hi Selena. So like, it's a wonderful therapy for anybody that's thinking about doing the hypnotherapy. I would say go for it, you know. All my clients have sent on more clients to me, because, you know, the best work that we'll ever do is word of mouth. And it's true. If I'm happy with somebody, I would say to you, oh, go and see her, you know. So no matter what advertising we do, really, I always think like that. You know, if somebody hears you talking about somebody and they're happy with her, you'll immediately go, yeah, I'll give her a ring and I'll see how I'll get on with her. So just to explain to you that hypnosis is not, like, people don't have control over your mind. at any time if I made a suggestion, which I always think is funny, but if I made a suggestion saying, okay, Connie, give me your bank account number and your PIN code, at any time you could open your eyes and go, no, why would I give you that, you know? So it's just because we have this preconceived notion from watching, how would I say, watching hypnotists, which is a totally different thing to hypnotherapists. They're there to make you enjoy yourself, to have a bit of fun. So they might pick 10 people from the audience and they'll keep the most suggestible people. And they'll suggest to those people, look, we want them to have a good night and have a bit of fun, so go along with me, you know. But there is no way on earth, I promise you. Because as I always say to people, and I'm laughing now even thinking about it, that look, if I could do that, I wouldn't be sitting here doing a one-on-one session with somebody for euros when I could clean out their bank account. I'd be out in the Caribbean having a wonderful time, you know. So you know, that's the notion sometimes that we get, you know. Or if you think about hypnosis, like really when you think about it, advertising is massive hypnosis, isn't it? You know, when you see a sign and it draws you in, all those things are hypnotic, you know. So like there's lots of fallacies about hypnosis that aren't true. And hypnosis first originated in the sleep temples in Egypt, you know. That's how far it goes back, you know. And if you look at like some of the most brilliant mediums like Edgar Casey, he'd go into a deep trance, and when he'd come out, he'd give you incredible information about people that have passed, you know. So it's very beneficial, you know, whether you want to stop smoking, addiction, anxiety, lose weight, feel better about yourself. You can use it for confidence boosting. I've done it for people to pass their driving test. One lady here, that was her 6th time doing her driving test, and she got it, you know. So I did it myself when I had to do my own driving test, and happily I got it, you know. So it's a very beneficial therapy you can use it for anything. That's another thing that I love about it, you know. But it does kind of get right in to kind of change, to scramble whatever's going on and change it to what's beneficial for you, you know. So I just thought I'd come on today and explain that to you, and thanks everybody, because I was on at 10:15 for Pick a Card. I was on at 12 o'clock to talk about integrated energy therapy, and I'm just coming on now. I'm just really finishing now, because it's just a short talk about hypnotherapy, you know, because I really get annoyed when people have all kinds of ideas that you've control over their mind, that you can suggest things to them. The power of suggestion, the things that I would be suggesting to them are very beneficial for their health and for whatever problem they came to see me for. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and that's the reason that I studied hypnotherapy, because sometimes, no matter how much we want to change, if that pattern is still going around in your head, that's really where you're being governed from, because your mind governs your thoughts govern your emotions. So I think it's important for us to remember that like everything is connected. And I must definitely look this up, this Indian saying that you're probably tired of me. I usually talk about it, but I've never looked up how, like, there's an Indian saying like that, where like we're only focused on the physical body, which is true. We're only focused on what we see and what we look in the mirror. But they say it's like a man living in a house with 4 rooms, but really he only stays in one room all the time, and that's the physical room, you know, because we also have a mental body, we have an emotional body, and we have a spiritual body. And the ideal state of balance and harmony is to have the 4 bodies in harmony, you know. So the hypnotherapy can kind of free up from behaviours, from anxiety. It's just brilliant therapy for all kinds of things, you know. And thanks a million, Pauline. Sometimes I get sidetracked, like I was talking about magnified healing yesterday. I went into mediumship, you know, because I love them all. So, but I do think, you know, I like to inform people about hypnotherapy, because it's such a brilliant therapy, you know. So if anybody is feeling stuck, take a look at it and see, you know. Like, I've been using hypnotherapy with people in Texas, America, France, Spain, all over the world, and they found it really brilliant, you know. So like, there's nothing there to be afraid of, you know. There's nothing whatsoever to be afraid of. It's brilliant for fears, for phobias, for all kinds of all kinds of things that help us really, or that block us from having a good life, you know. So guys, thanks a million for coming on. You're probably sick to death. You're probably sick to death of looking at me. But this is my last talk now of the weekend. And again, I want to thank Freddie Roberts for organising it, that we can still have mind-body experience, you know. And if you look, guys, I never make any of the talks or anything like that, because I'm always working and doing talks myself. But if you look at Mind Body Experience Cork, I think it's on the Facebook page. No, I'm not very technical, so I'm probably the last person on earth to be telling you this, but but there's usually fantastic free talks and, you know, lectures and things like that, and it's wonderful that we were still able to do some of it. Thanks a million, Yvonne. And I do rant on sometimes, but you know, I have a few American clients and they just love it, because they just say, oh, I love the accent and I love the way you just chat away and you're so friendly. And I always say to them, thank God I didn't kiss the Blarney Stone, because I'm bad enough as it is. So guys, thanks a million everyone for joining us. And you know, if you want to kind of tell anybody about hypnotherapy or the explanation of it, this video will be up on the page, and I think it will also be up on the Mind Body Spirit page, and I think he puts them all up on YouTube. I've no idea, like, to be honest with you. He sorted out my page for the Mind Body Spirit, because it would never have happened, you know. So guys, thanks a million. I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks a million. Bye. Bye.